With the NFL talks looming, the lockout, still don't know what's going on. One thing is certain, high school football is well alive here in St. Charles County, and today is the first day of Francis Howell North Knights camp. Here today with Mark Collins, former NFL Giant player, two-time Super Bowl champ, also played with the Chiefs, Seattle Seahawks,
Green Bay Packers,
and on and on and on. Mark, is glad that you came to the field today to talk to the boys. I'm going to go and talk about the NFL a little bit. What do you think about that?
Well, I hope they get it settled. I was one of the players during the first 1987 strike. I was one of the named plaintiffs during that time period. And I think the players missed the mark on why we went on strike. We went after the money instead of benefits. This time, I think both parties are greedy. Strictly greed. It's not about benefits, which they should go after. Both are going after money. So I hope they get it done right. If I were the commissioner for a day, I would just say 50-50.
Right.
But the owners don't want that. So
right.
I hope they get it settled. But I'll tell you, Kathy, if they don't settle it by, I'll say mid-July, I don't think there will be a season.
I don't either. It's I love the NFL and love that you guys, former players like yourself, come back and give to kids like this and want to come around and do different things. If you were still in the NFL, what would you be trying to tell some of these players, or trying to, even if you were involved in the union or anything, I mean, what would you try to do?
Well, I still talk to some of the players, the younger players. I work out with them in Kansas City during the lockout, even the older players. Just basically hold on to your money. You never know when it's going to end. A lot of the players in the strike in '87, a lot of those players didn't hold on to their money and spent a lot of money, so they had to cross the picket line to go back to work. This time, I think it'll be a little different. The players are paid pretty well compared to what we paid back in the day, but I would tell those guys just to hold on to their money, continue to work out, because you never know when this will end, and if it ends, you're not in shape, you're going to lose your job. So those are two things I'll tell them.
I'm just wondering what's going to happen if this continues to go on, and then you've got these college players that are getting ready to come out for next year. I mean, what do you think is going to that's going to be a hard draw there to even try to. It's like a puzzle you can't even put together. I mean,
well, and that's something that the league they don't want that to happen because the college in the NC2A, that's the lifeblood of the NFL. I think they want to get it done, and they will get it done. It may be late, but they'll get it done. They don't want the college players, the upcoming seniors, to not have a draft or the opportunity to play ball. So I think they'll get it done. It'll be late, but they'll get it done.
My passion, high school football. We're surrounded by sweaty shirts, sweaty shoes, plastic bags, and water bottles. But what do you think is going on with high school football? I know you're in the Kansas City area, but how is it up there as far as sports? I know they've just got they got some monster teams up there. Yeah,
there's a lot of teams in Kansas City, and same here in St. Louis also. So high school sports, football in general, really has become like the NC2A. It's commercialized. These athletes are going, they're getting year-round training, all this kind of stuff. So it's not that far different than the NC2A. But the only thing about high school football compared to NC2A is I think it's a bit more pristine. It's a bit cleaner. No scandals.
Right.
So I love high school football.
Oh, I love it too. Do you find that there's more peer pressure now? These kids are getting bigger, faster, stronger. I know that a lot of, like Francis Howell North, they've fallen on some hard times with their win-loss record. I know that a lot of kids are either injured, not coming back, or not coming back jobs, or girlfriends, you know, the growing thing of boys, teenagers growing up. So it's like, you know, but then you see teams like Fort Zumwalt West, the powerhouse teams and stuff like that, and Francis Howell North, I don't get me wrong, they used to be there at one time. And so you wonder as a coach, Coach Bruni, the frustrations, kind of hard to try to get back in the winning ways when you got to have the guys that they need to have their head right.
Well, it's tough, and the problem that's going on now was no different back in the 80s when I was in high school. Same problems, same situations. What some coaches have to do is basically you got to start from scratch. You got to build an organization, and you may have to build an organization with freshmen and sophomores, but you got to build that tradition. And once you start building that, then they'll come. Recruiting also is another thing that some schools can do. Some coaches got to get better at it.
Right.
And the only reason you get better at recruiting is you got to sell a possible recruit on your tradition.
Right.
If you have no tradition, you can't sell them on anything. No one's coming. So, but overall, I think the state of high school football is good.
Did you get a lot of letters going to Cal State Fullerton? Did you?
Woo, I got a lot of letters. I probably had like 400 letters. But a letter doesn't mean anything. It doesn't. Because at the end of the day, when they see that one loss record and they say, well, this school's not very good or whatever, all the letters disappear.
Wow.
The only one that stayed and remained was Cal State Fullerton, so they gave me the opportunity for a scholarship.
And then?
The rest is history. I took advantage of it. And it's like I spoke today, and I always speak to kids and others. Whenever a situation comes up, you got to take advantage of that, especially a positive situation. Make the best of it.
Right.
And I'll tell these kids, colleges aren't giving away scholarships to dummies.
Right.
And then it's like when you give a $150,000 check to someone who has a problems with the law, a drug problem, or something like that. No, that's what it is. So if Notre Dame was to offer a student athlete a scholarship, a 4-year scholarship, at $150,000 for 4 years, well, that college is going to do its background check to make sure that this money is going to the proper person.
Right. Were you in the draft radar when were people talking about a Mark Collins, or did they really know who you were?
At Cal State Fullerton?
Well, when you were getting ready to go into the NFL, was there talking, or did you even feel like you were going to get drafted into the NFL?
I'll be honest, yes. I was ranked the number one corner coming out of the 1986 draft.
Wow.
Yeah. But that was hard work. That was too hard work because my thing was, at Cal State Fullerton, though it was a Division I school, it wasn't USC or Notre Dame or Pittsburgh. I had to work harder. So my days off, I never had a day off. I worked to hone my technique. The Los Angeles Rams used to train at our facility. I would go out there and work out with Henry Ellard, Vince Ferragamo, those guys. So I always stole a rep. I was working, which made me better, which got my ranking high to get drafted in the second round by the Giants.
And now, being retired from the NFL, and now, like, your shirt is very fitting, stir things up.
That's all I do.
Now you've got all these businesses, and can you tell me some of the stuff that you did right after you got after you retired from the NFL?
Well, I got my degree in communications, radio and television, and I did radio in San Diego with Jim Rome. Then we did work. I did with Fox in Los Angeles, and then I did a couple of things with Sky Sports in London. Did the live feed for the Super Bowl. Gosh, did a lot of radio.
Right, and I think you told me you owned all these businesses.
Yeah,
and then
I had Checkers restaurants.
I remember Checkers.
7 in Kansas City. I had 26 sporting goods stores called Sports Stuff.
Wow.
From Connecticut all over to California. And that, gosh, did so much, can't think of it. But that was basically it.
And so now you have your business. You have about 3 or 4 companies going on now.
Yeah, what I do now, I give student athletes the opportunity for sports scholarships. The name of the company is called 2-Time Champ Sports. That's the number 2, the letter X, champsports.com. We have over 35,000 schools that's using us as a recruiting service. And to date, the numbers may be a little off, but over 80,000 student athletes have signed up to use us as to get us sports scholarships. It's for male and female. It's a great deal. It's free. What drives it is corporate sponsorship.
Okay. And what is that website for 2-Time Champ Sports?
It's www, the letter X, champsports.com.
Okay, and then the women's.
That's
the long one.
The women. Now that's the best one. I love that.
Yes.
It's a beautiful site. It's called Sports Scholarships for Women. Sports Scholarships for Women.com. That's a beautiful one for women only.
Okay.
I came up with that name because my son and daughter were fighting over some stuff. And I said, you know what? Sometimes women just want their own stuff. So I created that site just for women, and it's great.
Awesome. I appreciate your time. And on behalf of STL Sports Productions, this is Real Talk with Kship. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it.
Anytime, Captain.
All right. Thanks.